I got 2 pieces from one. One, I'll put it here. But I'm not even sitting down. I'm kneeling, and I still have a lot of head space here. So, or I was thinking this. I was calling this a Luton, but I think I'm gonna change the name to a Loft. This is more like a loft. I've seen a lot of the other trucks that they actually have a big area like this up above. Either in trailers or campers or whatever, and those are called lofts. I guess I don't know I wouldn't know how to describe the difference, and on technical terms. But as far as just the physical part of it, it's a whole lot bigger than just having an over the cab sleeping area, because the over the cab sleeping area is about this high, and you can only sleep in it. It only has one purpose, which is just sleep in it. Whereas in here you can sit up, you can actually lounge up here, watch TV, just kind of hang out. So I think I'm gonna call this a loft. I think this is considered more of a loft than a Luton, which is the Luton would more towards a over the cab sleeping area, or the attic or whatever. But this is not, I don't think this is that. I think this is more of a loft. So I think I'm gonna call this a loft. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's this what other people describe lofts in their tiny homes, or in their even in an apartment, or in a home where you go up to a loft? Obviously it's not huge, but it's not tiny where all you can do is just kind of tuck underneath and sleep, and not be able to sit up in it. But this, I can kneel pretty much huge in here. So yeah, I'm gonna call this a loft from here on out. Alright, so here's this bottom piece screwed on. I had to put a bunch of screws on it and hold it in place. So this bottom piece is just a crazy mess. For one, this bottom platform just didn't line up with this piece. This bottom thing kind of warped and shrunk, or I don't know what happened, but it just didn't reach this. So what I ended up doing, I just put these 3 screws right here just to kind of bridge it and keep this from flexing up and down. There's really no other way around that, unfortunately. And obviously I have this gap now due to the deck at a slight angle down. What I'm planning to do to fix this actually is I'm just going to squeeze foam into this area here, and just kind of bridge this gap here, and then I'm gonna have to build it up with with the resin putty again, and strengthen this little corner here. As far as this goes, as you can see, this piece here just kind of goes in a little bit further in, so this whole thing just didn't line up as I thought it would. So what I'm also going to do is squeeze foam into this as well, and and most likely I'll probably you know, I'm gonna have to build this up, you know, from there, just kind of build it up this way somehow. And, you know, there's really no good way to get tools underneath this here with this window down here. I still want to do a coat of resin, at least just pure resin on this, on, you know, on the whole outer shelf of this thing. I don't want to just leave it like this with just bare wood, so I gotta do a whole coat, a full coat of resin, even though really it's not ready to be resined over, because there's still a lot of body work that I need to do to it. But because of the fact that I might not be able to have enough time, you know, today is Sunday and it's already almost noon, so I might not have enough time to do all the body work then the resin. So I might just do the resin and then come back, and I'm gonna have to shave some of that resin off afterwards, and, you know, do it that way for another weekend. But I do need to seal this this wood. I can't just leave it bare like this out in the elements like this. It will warp even more. I mean, it warped over one night a little bit, some of the sections, at least this thin board here. This stuff for sure is very vulnerable to moisture. But, you know, I got this part down, so you know, I had to tack that back down, and waiting for this wood glue to dry. I still have to build this cabinet, which that's just a piece of cake, you know, just a couple cutouts and whatnot, but still a little bit of work to do. So I've also got some of this polyester resin, marine grade. This is the stuff I got from eBay. I told you guys about this, or I mentioned it on the comments, but this is equivalent to this stuff. This stuff is, I don't know if we can see that anymore, $316 for 5 gallons, and this stuff for 5 gallons, and it comes with the catalyst, which is this stuff. You know, this you have to buy it separate. This an additional $24, or no, $12.45. So $12 for this, you know, and $100 and what did I say? $316 for this. So I'm gonna try this stuff out, because this stuff was only half the price. I can't remember off the top of my head how much I paid for it, but I remember it being half the price. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Hopefully it's as good as that stuff. That stuff I've been having you know, pretty good luck with this stuff. You know, this is normally what I buy, but you know, I still got a lot of more fiberglassing to do. So if this is half the price, you know, I'll give it a shot, see what that's like. You know, I try to level this as much as possible. I mean, I don't know how level this is. I put this up on top on the flattest part up there, and it was leveled like about right there. It was leveled like about right there where the bubble was halfway. And then I put this on the top frame in the back, and it was also, you know, a little bit like about that much. So if I pick this up by that much, it's the truck is almost level. So it's a lot better than how it was. It was tilted, you know, really to one side, and you know, I dug pretty deep there. So what I did is I dug there and I raised it up on this side. I just threw dirt and a piece of wood on there, but it kind of strained it out, you know. It did the job. So now I'm more comfortable fiberglassing it, you know, in this position here, because you know, like I said, the truck, technically it's the one solid piece, but you just never know. You know, the frame of this whole box relies a lot on those aluminum bars, you know, and those can easily flex back and forth. So yep, you know, I mean, it's not 100% level, but you know, I'm happy with that. I can work with that. You know, I got 3 little batches here that I'm going to make. They're really small batches. You know, it's really hot today, so, and the thing about this is that it's really hard to determine how much catalyst to put. This is the catalyst, and literally it's only like 10 drops for 1 ounce of resin is 10 drops. So I have to calculate how many drops for that little bit there. My little digital scale it's you know, so gunked up already. It doesn't read very good in tiny increments. I don't know, maybe it needs to be calibrated. I've had this for years, so who knows. So I mean, it's off by just a little, of just a few fractions of 1 ounce. So anyways, this cup here, I'm zeroing it out. Of course, this button doesn't even work because it's freaking so gunked up. Anyways, it's zeroed out. The cup is 3 ounces, so this is 6 ounces. So for each ounce, it's 10 drops. You know, I'll probably use half of that. Usually it says here use 20% less, but I'm just going to use 50% less. Because this stuff, I don't know, I mean, I've been trying to calculate it, but it's really hard to get just the right amount of drops in such small quantity. So for 6 ounces at 10 drops is 60 drops. So I will do 30 drops. So I have to make sure that I do approximately 30 drops, and to get 30 drops I have to, you know, kind of like just go 1 drop at a time, and sometimes like little squirt will come out, and either have to start all over again or just kind of eyeball it, be like, oh, that was like 3 or 4 drops there. So it's really hard, you know. And then this little dropper is already empty, so I have to pour some of this into this so that I can try to do the little drop. So that's about the ratio there. This little tiny bit in there, that's the ratio for these little tiny batches. So it's really hard to get it, but not impossible. So the next thing, before I add that, I'm gonna add my sawdust. The other thing that I've been meaning to use, this thing is still practically brand new, and what this is pretty much the same concept of using this sawdust. This is fiber, they're called microspheres, and this will make a light paste, which is that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm actually going to mix a little bit of this because it's got fiberglass in it, so I'm going to mix that with my sawdust as well, because sawdust is going to make it more of a thicker consistency, but this got fiberglass, so it'll kind of interlock somehow. I don't know, I'm not sure how, but I'm going to use both a little bit. it looks like I should put some putty in here, but this is actually going to be the cutout for the side light, but I'll put some up there instead. But the stuff is starting to set slowly. It's manageable. It's setting slowly, and it's more manageable. So it kind of worked out. Of course, I am on the shade side of the day, and I'm almost all out. So a little amount of resin actually worked out pretty good. Yeah, I'm not gonna stick this in there. It's too thick. I want it to be watery so I can really saturate into the wood. So this can just be. Yeah, I don't think I want to use this stuff on anything else. You know, I want it to be really wet so I can really jam it in there with the brush and saturate the wood. This won't saturate very good. It's already halfway dry, but it used up most of it, so that's pretty good. Alright, so that's what that looks like. I managed to just work most of it in and just kept pushing it all the way in so that I can, you know, go all the way into the crevice. I had a little bit left over, so you know what I did is I actually have plenty of big areas where I can fill, where I don't need to brush it. For example, this was just a big chunk that I actually bit off from with the saw, and then there's just a big open spot. I just pushed a lot of it in there. So I have this big valley right here too that I can just drop in, you know, extra leftovers in there. Hopefully, if I have any leftovers here, I want to make sure it's nice and wet before I stick anything in there or in there. But here I can just drop leftovers and just build it up there. And then also I have this area where I can just, you know, add the stuff in and just build it up, because this is gonna be a little ways. Maybe you know, build it up right there. I actually got to clean this stuff off, but yeah, I definitely have more spots that I can just dump extra stuff that's you know, some halfway cured. But it's the catalyst is at 50%, so it's taking a while. It does take a while for this stuff to actually harden up, at least to the point where I can just walk away from it. You know, it's still soft, it's still, you know, gooey, but at least I can just walk away from it now, as opposed to just keep brushing it and keep it from oozing down to the floor. So I'm gonna try this was at 50% catalyst. I'm gonna try 60% of catalyst as opposed to 100% of the catalyst ratio. My goal is to put at least just one, you know, roll one layer of resin on this whole thing, you know, just with the roller. Let me give you a quick update. So as you can see, I did all the crevices, the corners, the edges, the joints. I did this guy here. Let's see, let me show you the front really quick. This is already, I got this mixture already on the time. So as you can see, this whole front has been sealed, you know, except for these little crevices there, but I'm hoping to seal it with the resin, and of course I got all the screw holes, but all the screws has been removed. Got this whole section back here done. So this stuff is pretty good. It's, you know, it's resin. It's like Bondo, except that this stuff does two things. It fuses the two halves together, you know, and then it creates a bridge, and you know, it seals it at the same time. So even this coloration there, that's part of the resin, you know, that itself kind of seals the wood a little bit. So, you know, it's crunch time. I've been working on this, you know, as fast as I can before the sun goes down. As you can see, there is no sun anywhere to be seen. Sundown is somewhere over there, and it's already gone pretty much. So I just need to get that done, get this crevice done, and do a quick coat of resin. Even with that, even with this, all this mess here, you know, I'm gonna have to do it with all of this mess here. I won't be able to sand it down, because if I spend time sanding this down, it'll be pitch black by the time I get ready to do a coat. So I don't even know if I can do the coat now, but I need to try. Anyways, wish me luck. So this is the last bit of it. I'll show you the technique I've been using. So this stuff pretty much, I apply it pretty much like I do Bondo. I just use you know, these disposable cards, credit card style. These are like, this is like my old snowboarding pass, or you know, I got a couple Starbucks gift card or whatever that I just keep. I never throw these cards away, because I always use these all the time. But this is my little technique that I'm using. So I pretty much spread it as much as I can, you know, and just push it down all the way to the bottom as much as I can, and then remove almost everything I can. Remove as much as I can. I don't want to flare it out with this stuff. I just want to seal it, you know, get it down to the insides, have the two pieces of wood fused together, and then get as much of this stuff off, because this stuff, unlike Bondo, this stuff does not sand very well. You know, this is like sanding a stone. So I'm trying to cut my work down by just pushing it down as much as I can, and just scraping off as much of it off, you know. And then you know, any little discrepancies that I need to smooth out, I can do that with Bondo once it's been sealed, and it's not necessary to fuse these pieces of boards together. I'm trying to do this as fast as possible, because it is getting dark as we speak, and it's starting to get really dark. So I'm just going to try to roll on a thin coat of resin, you know, with just use the roller, just roller, and maybe brush and roller. And then next time I come, I'm gonna have to do a lot of prep work, because I'm gonna have to sand all of this stuff off, plus the resin plus the coat of resin that I'm going to apply. I'm gonna have a lot of sanding and scraping next time I come around to do the actual fiberglass cloth. I'm gonna do 3 ounces. It's possible. Okay. So oh man, this stuff smells. It's crunch time. Gotta get this done. Alright, I got a camera on one hand and a bucket full of resin on the other. Oh man, it's not good. I don't even have the board that I was working on this, so hopefully I don't fall through even more, so hopefully I don't bend it too much. That's this section here. So I gotta do the whole thing, the front and the sides, and I gotta do some more resin, but I'm moving. Alright guys, I know you can't see me I know you probably can't see the truck, but I did it, man. I painted the whole thing, even the bottom, even that bottom piece. I painted right over this foam. I painted, or I'm saying, well, yeah, practically I painted with the resin. Here, let me get. I got a light. All right, so there it is in all its glory. I painted everything, even that bottom piece, but not very well, as you can see. I literally could not see. I was just painting in the dark, you know. So maybe I'll come back and brush that in a little bit better. But I brushed everything as much as I could. I see a few sections that I missed, but overall I got most of it. I did all of the putty resin. I did all the joints, all the corners, all the crevices, except that little spot right there where I gotta cut out. But I don't know if it's gonna rain, but it's a little bit, you know, it can at least withhold a little bit, or withstand a little bit. How much, I don't know. I painted over that metal flange, right? You know, as you can see, I squeezed as much of the resin into that, in between that flange there. But everything else is, I would say it's maybe 90% sealed. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, I did not get a chance to sand any of this stuff down or fix it. So I'm gonna have a lot of work cut out for me when I come back. So I did this top here. You know, I try to squeeze in as much resin as I can inside these holes, but you know, obviously, you know, I couldn't do it fast enough. If I do anything, any type of rain preparation, I'll just do a bead of that caulking, that silicone caulking there. And you know, I can still see, I see some spots where, some dry spots where, you know, I didn't paint either that or the board itself just kind of sucked in the resin. It just kind of absorbed the resin, so that's why I'm seeing dry spots there, and dry spots, you know, maybe little dry spots throughout, but that's because the board just, you know, it just absorbed the resin as it should. You know, that's the benefit about the resin, is that it gets absorbed by the wood and it fuses to the wood. But of course, one coat of resin may not be enough. I don't know. You know, it kind of left a few spots vulnerable there, where those little spots might buckle up or bubble up. I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. That's all I can do. That's all I can do today. That's all I was able to do. It's already dark. All right, so it's actually the next day. It's actually Monday. I actually took the day off. You know, so not because, you know, I wanted to work on this, but because, you know, my clutch on this old truck went out, so I have to come back and put a tow bar and haul it home with that truck right there. But I mean, while I am here, I'm gonna see if I can close that up today, maybe shave off some of that foam and you know, touch it up a little bit more on the bottom. From last night, I couldn't even see last night what I was doing. I couldn't paint. I was just painting like crazy in the dark. You know, I was painting fast. This stuff was just spattering all over the place. Probably dripped on the windshield. I know for sure I got some on my eyes just from rolling so fast. Stuff splattered on my eye. It was horrible. But you know, I managed to seal most of it. But this stuff is solid hard. This is gonna be crazy sanding this stuff down. This stuff is pretty tough, so but I'm happy with it because it actually closed the gap, and it fused this board with this board. But yeah, my truck, this old truck here, just the clutch went out. It was going out, and I can fix the clutch myself. I can pretty much drop the transmission, put in the new clutch, all that stuff. But I haven't had time to work on my own personal stuff. I've been working on this thing every weekend, so that's just how that is. I got this tow bar from, you guessed it, Harbor Freight. So I'm gonna hook this up onto my truck and see if I can tow it with this truck. So this is a V8. It's still this is tow one old truck with another old truck, but that's how I do it. So yeah, I'm just gonna bolt this onto the other truck and tow it home, and then just let it sit in the driveway until I get finished with this, sealing it up, and have some time to work on my other stuff. Anyways, that's my Monday. Happy Monday to all of you. It didn't rain last night, but there's rain in the forecast, so yeah, I need to do as much as possible to seal that for a little bit more. All of the screw holes, all of the screw holes can potentially get water in it, so I'm gonna try to take advantage of taking the day off today and see if I can do a little bit more to seal it and just kind of prep it a little bit for rain. So quick review on this little mini grease gun. So it seems to be working out pretty good. Just I squeezed it up until it's squeezed out, till it oozed out from the edge there. It kind of oozed out a little bit there. So just pop it in, screw it down, and just pump away till you see it ooze out from one of the sides. There it goes. It's just enough there. Alright, so here's the tow bar. I mounted it on this front bumper here, the 4 bolts. So I hope that's the adequate spot for it. I try to look for a spot directly onto the chassis, but it's further inside behind this stuff. So this bumper seems to be held on pretty tight to the chassis. So that's I bolted it there. So anyways, quick review on this. We'll see how it works. Eventually I'll end up towing it with this guy here, because it does have a tow hitch in the back. So eventually I can either use this tow bar to either tow this vehicle or some other vehicle. So it'll come in handy. But at least now that that's sorted out and I have a way to potentially get my truck home, I can work on this a little bit more, see if I can try to seal those screw holes, put some caulking around it, put a little bit more resin towards the bottom, fix that bottom a little bit. I don't know, maybe put a sheet of fiberglass, but that's not my intention for today. I don't have a whole lot of time today. I didn't plan to do any of it today. I just needed to get this truck back home and eventually make some time from this and work on this one. But let's see what I could get done today. I won't be filming a whole lot, but I'll give you an update as soon as I let you guys know what I did. Alright, just a quick little update. So I managed, well, got a little head start on sanding this stuff down. Been using palm sander, belt sander. I routed this edge here, you know, just to kind of get a head start on this little piece here. Shave this. I dug a little too deep in with my what is it called? This freaking planer, with the planer. So I kind of dug in a little too deep there with the planer, but that's fine because I can just fill that in with Bondo and smooth it out again. Smooth this piece out. So I did one continuous plane on this, and then rounded it off on this side here. So I still need to router this edge, you know. Still got a lot of work to do. I just got a little head start on some of the sanding stuff. I still got a lot over there. Got a little head start there. You know, smooth this side here down. The next thing that I'm doing is building the box for this. So pretty much I had to cut it at an angle. I couldn't tell you what angle that is. I just eyeballed it. See, even here it's not the 100% the correct angle, but just stuck a board in there, cut a little wedge there, and drew a line on the bottom, drew a line in the back. So that's how I'm getting this, you know, this dimension, just kind of sticking it in there and just drawing lines. Nothing too complicated there. This is all I was able to get done today. I did a whole another fresh coat of resin on everything. I built a little box here, and just, you know, soaked it with resin. I did the resin from the inside to kind of hold it in place. The sawdust putty, you know, kind of to build it up. You know, just not rely too much on that wood glue. Once I put wrap it with fiberglass, that thing's gonna be solid like a rock. I did it a slight incline downward on that bottom section, so that in case it rains, you know, I don't get any water pooling back in the back of that box there, so it'll kind of scoop out that way. That's pretty much all I was able to get. Just a coat. I wanted to do some Bondo and cover the holes, but actually I'm late for some other arrangements that I have. But you know, it's going to rain, I think, tomorrow or the next day. So hopefully, you know, if it does, I'll just, you know, I'm going to come down here and just kind of see where any water comes in and address it right there on the spot, or maybe come back and do some more caulking. But that's it for today. So right on cue, starting to rain, but at least I'm towing my car behind me, so the little tow bar actually worked out pretty good because I'm at my exit. So, but it's starting to rain, so we'll assess the damage afterwards.